Podcast 195. How Experience Shapes Knowledge is Culture, a Constructivist Perspective. ISBN 978-976-9738560. Welcome to How Experience Shapes Knowledge is Culture, a Constructivist Perspective. ISBN 978-976-9738560, where we explore innovative ideas shaping our world. I am your host, Dr. William Anderson Gittins, DD. Today, we'll dive into the fascinating intersection of constructivism in education and the profound teachings of Jesus Christ. Whether you are an educator, a parent, or someone interested in faith and learning, this episode is for you. The premise of this discourse is that constructivism as a learning philosophy is not new, because Jesus' teaching methods in the New Testament are founded on the Constructivist 5 principles. The 5 components of constructivism are: knowledge is created by learners, and learning is dynamic. Education is a social process. Reflection is crucial, and learning is contextual. In other words, constructivism consists on the following 5 elements: engaged, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate, according to leslie.edu. Constructivism, which is founded on Jean Piaget's 5 principles, according to www.simplypsychology.org, is a philosophy of education that stresses active engagement in the learning process. It makes the argument that knowledge is created via experiences and interactions with the outside world, rather than being merely transmitted from teacher to pupil. Jesus Christ, who employed constructivist techniques in the New Testament, according to digitalcoms.liberty.edu, is intimately associated with this philosophy. Constructivism encourages students to work on projects that let them apply their knowledge in the practical settings by highlighting the value of introspection, teamwork, and practical experiences. This view is supported by walden.edu. However, because many constructivists believe in objective truth resulting from divine revelation, there is some conflict between constructivism and traditional biblical beliefs, according to christianeclassroom.org, volume 23. By incorporating constructivist techniques in a way that complements faith-based teachings, educators can close this gap and create a learning atmosphere that encourages critical thinking and introspection, while making sure that conversations are based on biblical truth, according to researchgate.net. Another crucial component of constructivist education is the cultural and communal context, according to bpspsychp.onlinelibrary.wiley.com. Jesus established a society among his followers, encouraging mutual study and support, according to books.google.com. Respecting multiple cultural backgrounds, according to ProQuest.com, can enhance the educational experience in today's multicultural classrooms. In summary, Jesus' teachings and constructivism provide educators and students with effective resources according to digitalcoms.liberty.edu. It's my view that global citizens can make education more dynamic, interesting, and meaningful by embracing active learning and encouraging critical thinking with any religious context. There are 1,923 years between 28 AD and 1896, according to www.omnicalculator.com Everyday Life, according to www.omnicalculator.com. In my opinion, this study on constructivist teaching techniques was therefore nothing new. Let's start with the basics. Constructivism is a learning theory that emphasizes active participation in the learning process. Pioneered by psychologist Jean Piaget, according to Britannica.com, this theory posits that knowledge is not simply passed down from teacher to student. Instead, it's constructed through experiences and interactions with the world around us. So, what does this mean in a practical sense? Constructivism encourages learners to be explorers. It stresses the importance of reflection, collaboration, and hands-on experience. This view is supported by www.tandfonline.com. For example, instead of memorizing facts, students engage in projects that allow them to apply knowledge to real-world situations. In police education, Ronald Dworkin argues constructivism approach encourages deeper topic understanding, problem-solving skills, and teamwork. Integrity is a crucial judicial virtue as it highlights moral institutions while assisting judges in deciphering difficult legal issues. Now, let's shift gears and look at how this learning theory relates to one of history's greatest teachers, Jesus Christ. Through the Gospels, we see Jesus using methods that align closely with constructivist principles. Think about his use of parables. These are simply stories that convey deep moral or spiritual truths. By using familiar scenarios, Jesus encouraged his followers to reflect on their own lives and draw personal insight, much like the constructive process in learning. For instance, the parable of the prodigal son invites listeners to explore themes of forgiveness and redemption, prompting them to consider their own relationships. Through these narratives, Jesus created an environment where learning was not just about receiving information, but about engaging deeply with it. However, it's important to note that there is some tension between constructivism and traditional biblical teachings. Many adherents of the faith believe in an objective truth derived from divine revelation, which can sometimes seem at odds with the subjective nature of constructivist learning. Navigating this tension can be challenging for educators who seek to incorporate constructivist methods while upholding traditional biblical values. So, how do we bridge this gap? One approach is integrating constructivist methods in a way that aligns with faith-based teachings. This can involve creating a learner environment that fosters critical thinking and personal exploration while ensuring that discussions are grounded in scriptural truth. For example, educators can encourage students to engage with scripture not just through lectures, but through group discussions, debates, and even projects that relate biblical lessons to modern-day scenarios. This encourages students to develop a personal relationship with their faith while exploring deeper meanings. Another important aspect is recognizing the role of culture in constructivist education. Jesus created a community among his disciples, fostering an environment of support and shared learning. In today's diverse classrooms, valuing different cultural backgrounds can enrich the learning experience. By encouraging students to share their perspectives, constructivist pedagogy promotes inclusivity and respect, reflecting the harmony of community that Jesus modeled. As we wrapped up today's episode, in a symbolic sense, as a Barbados photojournalist, cultural theorist, and doctor of divinity, I used a wide shot to set the scale of a scene or environment. A wide shot, sometimes referred to as a long shot or full shot, displays the complete item or human figure on screen. It also served to establish the mood and ambience by visually engrossing you, the viewer, in the setting of each scene. It is clear that constructivism and the teachings of Jesus offer powerful tools for educators and learners alike. By embracing active learning and fostering critical thinking within a faith-based framework, we can transform education into a more dynamic, engaging, and meaningful experience. In conclusion, it's my opinion that Jesus' use of constructivist teaching methods, as evidenced in his parables and interactions with his disciples around 30 AD, highlights his commitment to fostering independent thinking and personal reflection. His approach of engaging in dialogue and prompting disciples to draw their own conclusions and insights, a constructivist approach that encourages individuals to actively engage with and internalize spiritual lessons. This approach, which predates Swiss psychologist Jean Piaget's transition to psychology by 187 years, according to omnicalculator.com, Everyday Life Years Between Dates, demonstrates that constructivist teaching methods were not new under the sun. Thank you for joining us on How Experience Shapes Knowledge is Culture, a Constructivist Perspective. ISBN 978 976 9738560. If you have enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, share, and leave a review. We love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep growing. God bless.